What is the most common way to configure static files in debug and production for Django? When developing a Django application in debug mode, I serve static files using the following code. I am using nginx as a front-end to serve my static files in production mode using the following nginx config. Which seems suboptimal because I have to create a M folder in the media directory. I am wondering what everyone else's Django/nginx config files look like. Specifically, can you please cut and paste sections of nginx.conf_nurls.py, settings.debug == Thanks.
Using Django 1.3 Django.contrib.static files will take care of serving everything for you during development. You don't need to do anything particular in the urls.py. I wrote a little guide for myself after the Django 1.3 update that covers the settings to use. Refer to the docs for details. This URL. I use nginx and uski for serving Django apps in production. I use runserver for development. I symlink my /static and /media folders from my Django project into .com/html from nginx to find. You could also use the collect static command instead of symlinking. If it can't find a static file, it falls back to uski, which is running the Django app. Instead of uski, you could use fastcgi, or proxy_pass, or whatever you want. I prefer uski because it has an incredible number of features and great performance. I run uski as a daemon with uski emperor/srv/.ini. This is a fairly new option. It tells uski to scan a given path for configuration files. When the emperor uski daemon finds a configuration file, it launches a new instance of uski using the configuration found. If you change your configuration, the Emperor uski daemon will notice and restart your app for you. You can also touch the config file to reload like with mod_uski, and it's really easy to set up new apps once you have everything configured initially. The path conventions I follow are: this is my nginx.conference. My uski any file. You can also use xml/yaml/ etc. You should also check out Unicorn. It has really nice Django integration and good performance.
I'm putting this here in case someone wants an example of how to do this for Apache and uski. The question title is worded such that it's not just covering nginx. Apache/uski daemon. In my deployment, I decided to keep the database connection info out of the settings.py file. Instead, I have a path/etc/Django which contains the files with the database configuration. This is covered in some detail in an answer to another question. However, as a side effect, I can check for the presence of these files in the project being in a certain path to determine if this is running as a deployment. And in settings.py I define the settings as _dev, as _beta, and as _prod as true or false. Finding the project's directory from settings.py is just anything that needs a path into the project uses base_dir. So in urls.py, I have at the end. I also have another URL in there that I use for UI testing and don't want on beta or production. This covers the development server case. For production, I just have to set the Apache configuration up to serve the static stuff. This is an internet application with low to medium load, so I don't have a lightweight web server like Lite to serve the static stuff, contrary to the Django docs recommendation. Since I'm using Fedora Core, I added django.conference file and /etc/httpd/conference.d that reads similar to. The key here is to put your alias lines before your skiscript alias line. Also make sure that there's no way for the user to download your code. I did that by putting the static stuff in a static directory that is not in my Django project. That's why base_dir gives the directory containing the Django project directory. You can omit the socket prefix line. I have it because the admin wants the sockets in a non-default location. My WSGI file is at .wsgi ie/django.wsgi in the Mercurial repository, and contains something like The nice thing about WSGI daemons is that you just have to touch django.wsgi to restart your Django WSGI daemon. You don't need to reload or restart the Apache server. This makes the admin happy. Finally, since my /var/www/Django project is just a Mercurial repo, I have the following in .he/hrc. This clears Python bytecode, updates the working copy, fixes up all the perms, and restarts the daemon whenever a developer pushes into deployment, so anyone in the Django project group can push into it and not just the last one who added a file. Needless to say, be careful who you put in the Django project group. ZK set static_URL, static_root, static files_dirs, static files_finders and uses django.contrib.static files and django.core.context_processors.static in its settings. I don't have those since my code dates back to Django 1.1 and don't use static_root. Hope this helps.
Si tu vas me sortir, moi, la fais considérer subscribing.